How you doing? Let me shout you out real quick. Also, you're probably about to see a platinum pop, or we're gonna have to do this whole thing all over again. Oh, this is the squeak, isn't it?
Will do. Picking up. Okay.
I love remake. Every now and then I get the urge to just play remake. Be like, yeah, I know I said I'd stream this, but fuck that, we're gonna play remake, and everyone loves it. Oh yeah, I gotta lift her up. All right, come here. Whoa! I wish you could fight like this. I wish you could fight with like her on your back. Where can I lift her up? No, why am I not getting the lift her up command? I guess I gotta read this first. I guess I can't read with her on my shoulder. There's a piece of fabric lying on the ground with a message inscribed in blood. It reads, Spartan, no man was meant to make it this far, though maybe you are not a man? I do not know you, but I suspect whatever brings you here means that you are no friend of Zeus. He must pay for breaking his promise and letting my son die. I can only hope that Kratos killed his son in God of War 2, by the way. I can only hope that you complete your mission. What a fitting end to die in my greatest invention. The only thing I love more was Icarus. Now I can be with him. Oh, wait a second.
You were the chosen one!
Spoofy!
It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them!
Spoofy! Welcome to the stream, Spoofy! I don't know why I thought you streamed. Anyway, welcome to the stream. I think we're only a couple minutes away from getting a platinum. We just have to make it through the labyrinth. The last trophy we need is make it through the labyrinth without dying. We have died, but we reloaded saves, so I think we're still good. According to, like, 12-year-old forum posts, I think we're good. It was pretty good, man. About to finish off God of War 3, and that'll be the entire God of War trilogy done. You picked a good time to tune in, by the way. We're at 91%. One more trophy remains, and we don't even have to beat the game. Oh, there it is. Amazed. King of the Hill, platinum. We got the platinum. We got the platinum. Oh wow. What did I say? Like an hour? Holy shit! We got a platinum. We got a platinum. We did. We did it. We did it. Oh, we fucking did it. We did it. We did it. Oh god. Yeah, just post a bunch of these. Oh, where's the platinum emote? There's the platinum emote. Boom. And I'm glad I'm recording too. Boom. Platinum emote. I don't know why there's a sad cashmere, but we got it. You God of War 2018 done? I have done God of War. This is my 5th God of War platinum. Here, let's sync this bad boy. Okay, so I did not expect this to happen tonight. I was making my way pretty quickly through the second playthrough. I mean, it was on easy. Yeah, I'm going about twice as fast as I was before, and I'm getting all the collectibles. I didn't think this was going to happen. I had planned to beat the game and then go back to an old save and go through the labyrinth without dying. So I thought I really had to go through the whole thing in one shot without dying or like reloading a save. But some forum posts from like 12 years ago said, oh, you can die, but just reload the save and you'll be fine. And it's like, okay. So you can just save scum. And it auto-saves. Unlike, I think, God of War 1 and 2 didn't auto-save, but God of War 3 does. Boom, there it is. Boom, King of the Hill. Unlock all trophies, www.spartanstandtall.com. So that website, if you type it in now, I don't think you find anything. But like back in the day, if you went to that website, it would show an image in varying degrees of completion. The way it worked was the more people that got the platinum and the more people that went to that website, like the more unique IPs it had going to it, it revealed more and more of this image. And this image turned out to be a teaser for Ghost of Sparta. So that's what that thing is right now. I don't know what it is now. Sad cashmere's for the tears of joy. Goodbye, my friends. Take care. Hey, Shadow. Hey, thanks for coming out. I'm gonna talk about it now because that's kind of what I do when I get a platinum trophy. I talk about it. I sort of have an idea what I'm gonna say. But I'm going to clip it at some point, mix the audio, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube channel or you join the Discord, you'll see it pop in there. So if you're interested, go for it. If not, whatever. But thanks for coming out, Jado. Ooh, King of the Hill. Spider-Man 100% looking nice. Got to get that Miles Morales. Yeah, I know. I got it. I got all the DLC too. I think that was 2 or 3 platinums ago. Probably in the Internet Archive. Yeah. Anyway, are you gonna update the banner? I just did. 100%. Let's see, latest plat. Okay, goodbye, Bayonetta. God of War 3. Current plat numbers 79. Boom. So close to 80, I can taste it. Okay, let's talk about this wonderful game. Okay. I'm not going to talk about my history with the God of War franchise. So the God of War 2 platinum video is like 40 minutes long because I spent about 20 minutes talking about like my personal history with the God of War series. It's not bad. It's pretty good. If you want to know like my personal history with the God of War franchise, please check out the God of War 2 Platinum Pop. But for now, I just want to talk about this game. Yeah, 798. Imagine. I mean, you could probably do it if you just farm a lot of like super easy platinum trophies. What was that? Okay. So first, we're gonna start with the story. Okay. The first thing I have written for story is balls to the wall. And I think that's a pretty good brief description of the story of God of War 3. I think it's a good story. I think it's a decent story. It's got elements of tragedy to it, which is appropriate because it's a story about the Greek gods. And it has good pacing too. There's always something going on. It kind of seems like it meanders a lot, but there's always new developments happening. There's always another god that's getting killed by Kratos. Like there's always spectacle happening if there's nothing really substantive happening. Like you could summarize this game in like 2 sentences. 1, Kratos wants to kill Zeus. 2, in getting to Zeus, he kills basically every god, and as he kills them, he dooms humanity to a life without the gods and without the control of the elements. There, that's the entire story, But the way it's told and the way it's paced, I like it. There's always something going on. Hey, thanks, Ox. Also, so I'd always kind of wondered why there was no game that followed God of War 3. Like every game that came out after God of War 3 was always a prequel, except for 2018. 2018 is kind of the sequel to God of War 3. But like every other game was a prequel, and I was like, why is every other game a prequel? And I'm like, oh, because at the end of God of War 3, literally everyone is dead and the earth is just like in ruin. And like all the people of Greece are just like dying because the gods aren't around to like save them. And then Kratos kills himself. Well, sort of. Obviously, he survives because there's God of War 2018. But it's like a final nail in the coffin to the God of War series. Like it seems like they thought that was just gonna be the last God of War, and maybe they wanted to move on to something else. To be completely honest, they made God of War 1, 2. Santa Monica Studio made God of War 1, 2, and 3 in 5 years. God of War 1 came out in 2005. God of War 3 came out in 2010. Fucking imagine Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 coming out in 5 years. At the rate they went, let's say they went the rate they did for God of War with like Bayonetta. They'd be like a Bayonetta 5 at this point. Like they were pumping out some amazing fucking games, just one after the other. And I could kind of see why they wanted to be like, okay, Kratos is dead. That's the fucking end of it. You small studio over there, you can make the prequels all day, but we're done. Goodbye. Adios. So I like the story. I like the finality of the story. I like how the story, there's like no sequel hook. There's no, okay, well there kind of is. Like when Kratos' body is like lying there, they kind of turn around, all of a sudden his body is gone. So they pull like a Michael Myers at the end of Halloween 1. They leave it open for a sequel, but really there's not too much wiggle room. Like when they did eventually make a sequel, they had to make it take place in another place completely. You know, a completely different pantheon of gods because they had so destroyed the Greek pantheon. They're like, there's nothing more we can do here. Kratos has killed everybody. Let's see. It's a straight up Greek tragedy. It really is. So tragedy in its most simplistic form is the protagonist has something wrong with him, a flaw that stops him from being happy. Like there is something endemic to who he is that makes it impossible for him to be happy or satisfied. And for Kratos, he cannot let go of the past. He cannot escape it. The past for him is like history for all of humanity. It's a nightmare that you can't wake up from. He is unable to move on from the death of his wife and child at his own hands, and he just can't move on from that pain. That pain consumes him. It is everything, and it's unconquerable. And that pain he projects out onto like everyone around him, not for no reason. Like the gods do kind of screw him over, but like the core of Kratos is this pain that he is a failure, that he is a monster, that he is not someone who is someone who exists to help anyone. He can only destroy. And that's who he is convinced, like who he is and what he is. He's a tragic character. He is, because he has this amazing power, but he uses it for very selfish reasons. And he's like destroying the planet and like dooming everybody to like to their deaths. And like he's destroying the world, and he doesn't even comment on it. He's like, I don't care. Zeus had it coming. The gods had it coming. And it's like, okay, the gods are not perfect, but like you're dooming all of these people, like all of these innocent families that are much like you are all like dying, you know. And it's because that pain that he feels from what he did, and that revenge and vengeance, it's almost like a drug. Like I think Kratos is convinced that like if I can destroy Zeus, if I can take out the gods, if I can like make them pay for what they've done, and make them pay for lying to me about taking away this pain that I feel, you know, maybe then I'll be happy. Maybe then I'll be satisfied. And at the end of God of War 3, he does that, and the pain is still there. And he it's to the point where he's like, I basically can't kill myself. I can't die by my own hand. This pain will never leave me. I am in a hell that cannot be matched by anything. And so he basically decides like it is for the good of everyone, and including myself, that I just take the easy way out and kill myself. It really is like a Greek tragedy, and I love it. I don't know who the fuck said that the original God of War was not a complex story or didn't have decent themes. I mean, it's not fucking Othello or anything, but it's a good story. Like it's better than a lot of people give it credit for. There's a lot more going on there than I think your average video game story. I mean, the standard of writing for your average video game is like on the fucking floor somewhere. You know what I mean? Like occasionally you'll have your Silent Hill 2s or your Mother 3s or your Spec Opses. Occasionally you have those, but those are few and far between. Most of the time, the story is borderline propaganda, like a Marvel movie or something like that. You know, like your average Call of Duty game. Oh, who are the bad guys? Oh, they're the brown people. Okay, got it. Or they're the Russians. Okay, got it. There's not too much complexity there. Someone tried to tell me at one point that the story of Black Ops is pretty like deep, and like, oh man, you just gotta play it. It's a really deep story, and I laughed in their face. I was like, it's borderline propaganda. The Call of Duty series is funded by the Pentagon. It's probably not it's probably not going to be, you know, a source of amazing storytelling, you know. Anyway, moving on. Oh yeah, and the last thing I have written for God of War 3 story is men will literally destroy the world instead of going to therapy. Maybe there's a funny meme there, I don't know. Okay, gameplay. There's some things that work and some things that don't. So so God of War, the God of War trilogy gets like a bad rap, I think, because they're like, oh, every game plays the same. It's like, not really. The games are different. There is enough variation in the gameplay that they do play a little bit different. They're very similar, but they're different enough. So in God of War 3, you have the grab move, where you can throw out your chains, and instead of pulling an enemy to you, you go to them. So let's say you're being surrounded by enemies. All you have to do is throw out your chains, and you'll go into the enemy, and you'll hit them, and it'll make a small explosion around you. So in that way, you can stop animations, you can stop attack animations, and you can like get out of a bind. You also have the Head of Helios, which does not use magic. It uses a refillable gauge, and you can basically use it to blind enemies around you and give yourself some wiggle room to like take a few enemies out. It's kind of like in God of War 2, where you would throw an enemy up into the air, and you would just like keep throwing enemies up to the air and like taking them out in the air, because almost no one could fight you in the air, and very few enemies could hurt you in the air at all. The Head of Helios, I think, just kind of like shortens that whole, instead of throwing them in the air and taking them out that way, it's just like, oh, everyone's blind. Okay, Plume of Prometheus, boom, boom, boom. Okay, took out 2. Blind, doo-doo-doo, blind, doo-doo-doo. Because it has no diminishing returns. You can keep blinding enemies forever. I mean, you'll eventually run out of item juice, but like it refills pretty fast. So I like that. I like the additional weapons, although honestly, I think if you had the Blades of Exile with a few more moves on them, like bring back like Rage of the Furies, bring back some of the moves from God of War 2, and you just had the Nemean Cestus, or Kestus, however you say it, the Hercules weapon, I think that's good enough. I barely used the Claws of Hercules. I barely used the Nemesis Whip. Although I did use the Nemesis Whip to cheese Zeus on hard mode, but aside from that, I basically never used it. I think if you had just had... I also never used like the magic for the Claws of Hades. I mean, I know you had a lot of like souls you can summon, but I just never used them. The magic associated with the Blades of Exile, which is this version of the Blades of Chaos, was just really good. Anyway, I like the different weapon systems, and I like the item system. I like the fact that it recharges. I adore the fact that you have a ranged attack that's not linked to magic. That was an awful idea. That was a really bad idea in God of War 1. Honestly, I wish they had done magic differently in God of War 1. I wish they allowed you to refill magic based on like your combo, which they basically do that in Bayonetta. Like having a high combo almost doesn't matter that much. It gives you a few extra red orbs, but like it's like minuscule in comparison to the red orbs you're gonna get from chests in like the late game, the only way to refill magic in any of the 3 God of Wars is to just find it in a chest, or to like kill enemies in a certain way, like certain enemies in a certain way. I really wish there was like a combo system wherein you got magic for doing like high combos, and like the magic system also factors into the combo system, so you can like spam magic, get the combo high, and then when you have like low magic, now you have a high combo, you can just like keep the combo going, and there's an ebb and flow to combat. It would let you use the magic a lot more. But I don't know, whatever. It was good for what it was. I like the combat. Yeah, I have written next, the Nemesis Whip seems superfluous. Yeah, the Nemesis Whip. I'm pretty sure someone somewhere was like, I want 4 different weapons. Like, okay. And like, okay, we have the Blades of Chaos, and we have a short melee weapon. So like in God of War 1, you had the Blade of Artemis. In God of War 2, you had, I don't remember what the fuck you had in God of War 2. And in God of War 3, you had the Nemean Cestus. I'm saying that wrong. I know I'm saying that wrong. I'm pretty sure they said it in the game, but I don't remember how they said it. Anyway. Oh yeah. Speaking of the Cestus, it's pretty OP. Like a lot of trophy guides I was looking at were like, hey, once you get the Nemean Cestus, don't use anything else. It's really good. It's really good. It does a ton of damage. It stuns enemies. It interrupts their animations. It's really good. I had to like stop myself from using it all the time because it wasn't that fun. Because I'm basically just like spamming the square button and a little bit of the triangle button, if I'm feeling fancy. And I'm able to like, overwhelm almost everybody. And I'm like, nah, it doesn't seem that fun, Doesn't work on Zeus though. Doesn't really work on Zeus. Speaking of Zeus, the next thing I've written down is Zeus on hard wreck my shit. He killed me like 50 times. but it's such a good fight. Zeus is a really, really good final boss. He is not easy. He is not a pushover. Some of the boss fights, even on hard, were kind of pushovers. I think I killed Hermes in like one go. Helios isn't even a boss fight, really. Hades I killed in one go. Hercules took 2 tries, but that was it. Poseidon took a lot of tries, but that was because I was just still getting used to the combat. I think that's all the gods that have a boss fight. Kronos doesn't count, but Kronos is more of like a... Kronos is like a weird kind of set piece slash Shadow of the Colossus thing. Like, I don't know. He doesn't really seem like a big living thing. He doesn't feel like a Colossus. He just feels like, oh, this is just the level now. We're just climbing on this guy's arm, you know, whatever. But yeah, out of all the boss fights, Zeus was by far the best. Really good and not easy. I love the Zeus boss fight. I think God of War 2 has much better boss fights. There was nothing in this game that was as good as like the Sisters of Fate. Those are such good fights. So imaginative. There's like 14 bosses in God of War 2. I don't remember how much there was in here. Maybe like 10. But like they weren't that imaginative. The bosses in God of War 2, it's crazy they made that many. Like they made God of War 2 in 2 years. 14 boss fights in 2 years. And I want to say it was like 15, 16 hour game to get through. God of War 2 is just like forget it, you know? All right. The platinum. So what is this? So I talked about what this game is like. And I recommend this game. I 100% recommend this game. Play it on normal. If you really want to challenge, play it on hard. But if you just want to play it and get the experience, play it on normal. Easy is way too easy. And hard is a decent challenge throughout most of the game, except for 2 moments. The first is when you go back to the judges of the underworld and you fight what? You fight Cerberus. You fight a Cerberus and you fight 3 satyrs, or if you really fuck up, 5 satyrs. Yeah, that was tough. That took me like 50 tries, and Zeus took me like 60 tries. Like literally, Zeus and those satyrs were like 2/3 of my deaths. Just those 2 parts. Everything else was like pretty easy. So yeah, the difficulty's all over the fucking place. It's not a curve. It's like a heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. But aside from that, it's really good. The platinum. That being said, once you get past those 2 parts, once you get past Zeus on hard mode and you get past the satyrs on hard mode, like that's it. That's like the most challenge the game throws at you. And you can do it in a few days. I did not expect to finish this tonight. I mean, I'm about to hit 6 hours. I thought I was gonna stream until 10, and then I was just gonna like call it a night. But I was so close. I wanted to keep going a little bit. Yeah, so close. I was only 3 hours away, right? But I was pretty close, and I was really feeling it. And I was like, man, I could do this. I could really finish this, you know. And so I did. and here we are, you know. Now that we're all caught up. No, but you can do this in a few days, probably. I'd say probably about a week. I want to say it's a 15-hour platinum estimated time by PSN Profiles. You can probably do less than that. If you start out on hard mode and you follow a guide to make sure you get all the collectibles, like that's it. Maybe like 12, 13 hours for a first playthrough, and then maybe an hour for Challenge with the Gods. This was the easiest Challenge with the Gods yet. It was really easy. Of the games I've played, I think God of War 3 had the easiest. God of War 2 had the second easiest. Chains of Olympus had the next easiest. And God of War 1 was probably the hardest. But God of War 1 wasn't that bad. So like I knew about Challenge of the Gods for the longest time. I never did it on the PlayStation because I was like intimidated by it. But I finally did it for the Platinum, I think like last year sometime. And I did it in like an hour and a half. And that was it. Hour and a half, and I'm done. And it's like, what? God of War 3, I think the challenges took me like an hour. And only one, there's like 7 challenges. Only one of the challenges made me replay it more than like twice. Everything else was either one shot, one go, or it was maybe like 2 or 3 tries. It was barehanded, by the way. You have to kill a bunch of enemies barehanded and within a time limit. So you have to really utilize grabs very well. But yeah, Zeus on hard mode and those satyrs on hard mode, and that's it. There's like 2 hard moments in the whole game, and that's it. God of War 2 had the final hallway before the third sister was like the really hard part. But that was it. I would say God of War 3 maybe a bit harder than God of War 2, but like when you look at it as a whole, it's not really that challenging. I mean, I was pulling my hair out, but I was also at that point I've been playing for like 12 or 13 hours. I was probably just like tired, honestly. But now we got it. God of War 3. Trilogy is done. Platinum number 79. And all right, that's it. Boom. Cut it.